still 3 Europeans. I mean, that's like saying EDG's not a Chinese team. That's like saying TSM is not an American team. I mean, come on. They have Dyrus and Wild Turtle. No, but seriously, I mean, honestly, Fnatic's an amazing group of players. Steelback, like, a little bit this way. Steelback beat Faker twice. Am I wrong here?
And you killed...
Steelback won 2 games against Faker.
Yeah, and you killed Febivin a couple times.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking purely about the fact that this guy has a good pedigree.
Yeah, he did get first in the European LCS.
Yeah.
He went to MSI. It beat TSM. Got taken
Crushed
5
TSM.
games with SKT. Yes, crushed. Absolutely.
I'll admit it.
Demolished them.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
And now he's here. Now he did, if I'm correct, he played with Odyssey, correct? That was
And
the
then
team
he
that picked
lost
him up.
in the North American Challenger Series play-ins.
Yep.
So that's his most recent accomplishment.
His most recent accomplishment is beating Cloud9 Tempest in the North American Challenger Series.
He probably won a solo queue game since then too, so.
Oh man! If we stack rank these, I feel like winning solo queue is a bit above beating up Faker. But above that is failing to qualify for North American Challenger Series. That's probably the biggest one.
Yes.
Who knows?
All right, bans have been going on. So Callista being banned away. Barai not being banned. Oh, no.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Was
man.
Sivir really worth it, guys? Was it? And the thing is, occasionally teams think they have counterpicks. And sometimes it's true, by the way.
Yeah.
I remember when Zed was the big deal, no one realized Kayle was good. And then people realized Kayle was like a hard counter, and immediately it was like, you must ban Kayle if you want to play Zed. So if that does exist, maybe we find it here. Imagine one of the very few teams to allow a team to play Ryze in 5.13.
Yeah.
If they get wrecked, they get wrecked. If they find the counter, they're good for them.
Yeah. This Azir and the Maokai bans are the ones that stick out to me because Sivir has been banned a lot because LOD and C9T love Sivir compositions because then they just get everybody to rush you. But a big part of those compositions...
Just play Jinx and they'll be fine.
Like, even just looking at what C9T could play in the top lane, you remove Maokai, well, he's still got Fizz.
Everything else.
He's still got Ryze.
Yeah.
He's still got Shen. He still has Rumble. He's only played Maokai twice.
I mean, this makes
3
sense.
times, and one of them is a loss.
Yeah, I think this makes sense if you're expecting him to not be able to play an engaged champion in the top lane, you're playing a poke comp. So, right, Nautilus secured, steals another engaged from the way, Corki AD carry picked up, right? Like, if you're gonna plan to play a poke team, right, makes the Sivir ban make sense, makes the Azir ban make sense.
I'm keeping my eyes on those two.
Yeah, I think this is setting up for like an Ezreal type play.
Yeah,
it feels like it.
Your comp has to make sense with those taken away.
Yeah.
And those being big weaknesses for what you're planning.
Right. So, something to watch out for. Cloud and Tempest, 30 seconds to make their own choices, though. There's plenty of good things out on the field, of course. This Nautilus is a flex pick, so they can't even like pick their top lane matchup without knowing what it could be. There's a chance it's Nautilus top, but still, Corki, Nautilus also a very good bottom lane, so it would be fine for Imagine to swap that around.
I like the double ban at Baby and then taking away Nautilus from him. It's most likely going to force him onto Janna.
Away from Sheep.
Or Sheep, sorry.
Yeah, because,
yeah.
2 supports were banned, and then Nautilus got grabbed right away, so Baby still gets Hook Champion, but Sheep is going to lose his top tier for sure.
Yeah. Oh.
Shen grabbed, and
there you go.
Nidalee comes through. Okay, so keep in mind, Shen is still a flex. We could see Ryze mid, so...
it's true.
It just depends on what we still think these guys want to play, which is cool, though, because C9T can flex their top lane to 2 to 3 different champions. They can flex their mid to literally anything or Ryze, and their support could still be anything, if not Shen.
That's true. I think it's going to be a Shen support because there isn't a whole lot of supports left that are in that top tier.
Yeah.
You think about it, and you don't want to run a Janna against a team that just banned Maokai and Azir against you. But you did pick Nidalee, so you might want to pick a Janna, but I feel like Shen is the way to go.
Yeah, I think it's solid. We'll see if that ends up being the case here. C9T so far is still drafting a pretty ambiguous team. It could still run anyway. Nidalee fits most compositions. As long as they don't need another tank, keep in mind, if they do run top lane Ryze and bot lane Shen, there's no true tank on the C9T lineup, just because support Shen doesn't have the gold to be really that durable. So that could be a small risk.
He's a little deceptive, though, in his durability, because when he gets the taunt off, it's the 50% less damage dealt to him.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty scary.
You rarely get to taunt the AD carry, though, who can shred you. So in a team fight, I would say it's difficult. I would
taunt flash, man. Taunt flash.
Now you're in the middle of the team, and you get killed even faster.
That's what you want to do.
All right, next few picks for Team Imagine. Sion top lane is pick up here for Chunky Fresh. They leave their mid lane pick for last, as I don't think they've seen the mid lane pick themselves. Sion go to the top lane. Rek'Sai in the jungle. Nautilus support is going to be the thing. Team Imagine to pivot off of ManCloud's choice here. Big freaking tank wall with a Corki behind it, who's not the highest DPS. See, now my brain goes, this is not a poke comp. This is they need a Victor and a Zir, a Cassiopeia, one of those big team fight mages. Yeah, Vladimir. They need a team fight mage to make this work.
Yeah, they need something with a lot of sustained DPS.
Yes.
Because they're tanky, they're durable, but they need something to back that up. And I love Chunky Fresh on this Scion. Although it's not exactly like meta in competitive play, we see people who go to it like a Luca on WE, where it's like, this is the champion that just works for that player. It's how they want to play League of Legends. They want to be able to engage and give that CC and just be this gigantic durable wall that scales up.
And when you play it just sort of a dumb team fight mage, being a wall is literally all you need.
All you want.
Yeah. And there's enough ways to start the fights with Scion. Not Assault into Scion is a guaranteed like infinite duration stun. So that's a slight exaggeration, but not by much, because you're probably dead by the time the stun ends. Meanwhile, Comp comes through for Cloud and Tempest. Mid lane Rise comes in, as we do have Gnar heading to the top lane. You're right about support, Shen. Vayne comes through as the AD carry pickup for a lot here. Cool to see that one coming out. But it puts a lot of persistent damage out on the Rise and Vayne hands. Gnar does fill the tank role, so now there is a front line for C9T, and they have some team fight power.
Picking a Vayne is always very risky, but because they have so many tanks, you want that % HP true damage.
Right.
I was sitting here going, maybe they'd want a Tristana, maybe they want some siege power, but her ability to shred through tanks is very low unless you get off the ground very early on and have a great mid game. So Laud is kind of banking on, we're gonna be this 27-minute power spiked team where Rise has both items that he needs to scale up. You're gonna be able to team fight off of the
Vayne's good at 1.5 items. So.
And Vayne's gonna be great at that point.
Yeah. All right, so I always like Vayne Rise as well. It's a great duo. You kill one, the other one kills you off. Nidalee also attack speed buff will help Vayne as well. So a lot of good synergies in that composition. I do like C9T's comp. Meanwhile, though, Cassiopeia does come through here for Man Cloud. So we are in 513, right? The items got changed around. Tyr has more AP. Well, Seraph's Embrace is more AP, so typical buy for her. Roa has more AP, another typical buy. And considering that she has a % AP boost on the kit, items that have good ability power on them just get better, and her core build definitely got stronger here.
That's true.
Riley's also got better, so...
And you're not wrong either, because Seraph's now has more AP on it when it's linked with Rod of Ages, because Rod of Ages now has more mana.
Right, so even more ability power on this. I mean, both those items already got plus 20 AP on them. Now there's just more fun synergy here. So a big Cassiopeia. I've only run into one since the patch, and she freaking wrecked my team. So
did you see Jat's League of Learning on PTL?
Yeah.
With that build that had like 890 AP on it?
That's the build.
That's a Rise and Cassiopeia build.
Yeah.
I am so scared of solo queue on 513 right now.
I do think Manclad will need a Abyssal Scepter in this game, though, because she's facing a Rise mid as well as a Nidalee jungle. So, you know, certain build-wise, this is something to look out for. But either way, we are into the game. Imagine game one over Cloud9 Tempest. They're looking like maybe the new third-place team in the North American Challenger Series. C9T also have already secured their playoff spot thanks to the prior 1-1 between Vortex and WinterFox. Imagine win here. They are also guaranteed playoffs. Now, Vortex and WinterFox are praying that Cloud9 Tempest win this game to keep their own playoff hopes alive.
Yep.
And right now, level 1 begins, and not too many scary things happen.
Yeah, good job checking the bush with the spear, making sure that nobody's in there. But yeah, if Imagine lose this, they go to be 3-5, and they play WinterFox. So then WinterFox becomes in charge of their own destiny for playoffs.
WinterFox 2-0s, they go to playoffs.
Exactly, because they would have the tiebreaker over them too. So imagine just want to win this game so that they can sleep well without having to think about next week in terms of do they even make playoffs, and then they can start prepping for playoffs.
Yep. An important thing to look for here, imagine... Nice, we get another nice Gentleman Gnar pick up here for solo. Always a fan to see the new skins get played. Shows the players like it. Because they had the choice of all the skins, and they chose the new one.
Did the pool party Rek'Sai? I didn't get to see.
Ice Toboggan Corki.
That's old school.
I actually have that skin. Really good Phosphor Bomb reveals the entire team, and Cloud9 Tempest will not have any invades happen. Both mid laners spotted each other. They're just chilling in their own lanes, but Cloud9 Tempest will be able to successfully invade this Krug here. As pretty much the northeast jungle is getting taxed away by everyone. Yeah,
this is the strong side of your map, though.
Well, it's equal, though. It's a 2-on-2.
Yeah.
Just it happened that Chunky Fresh and Moon started on the bottom right where no one was.
Yeah, it's still your stronger side of the map compared to your other side.
I feel like I'm equal.
Where you would have a top laner versus 2 people on the other. Even though they're matching 2-on-2.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still a side that has 2 people on it when you start with the jungler on that side.
Okay, I guess I feel what you're saying.
Yeah. But anyway, I want to talk about this mid lane because we don't see a lot of Cassiopeia recently. And this lane, they actually have kill pressure on each other at almost all times.
Yeah, this is interesting. So this matchup used to happen way back in the day, like literally years ago with old Ryze, and old Cassiopeia too. Cassio's supposed to win this matchup because Ryze can't get into range of Cassio without being in Q range. This was like literally like a 2012 counter pick.
Yeah, but good thing his Q is now a skill shot and has a much longer range.
Yeah. Yeah, I still feel like it is difficult for Yasui to play this matchup.
It's Cassiopeia favored.
Right here, you can, yeah, see, there he goes, punishes the CS. Look at that. It's exactly, and if he lands the Q, he's dead. Goodbye. Flashy, dead.
Yep, dead.
See?
Yeah, they both have kill pressure on each other though, but if he lands that first Q and you just chase him down the lane like that, boom. It's Cassiopeia favored because it's easier to execute on because Ryze has a window where he's able to do it.
The thing is, Ryze has to land a point-and-click short-range W, right? ManCloud has to land a 900-range skill shot Q.
Yeah.
They're very different conditions here.
But good lord, man.
Yeah. And so they're both flashless, though, so if Hard lands a good engage and Yasui does land a Rune Prison, the damage onto ManCloud will be very high. I'm glad that ManCloud went for Ignite, identifying that this matchup is going to be good. A great taunt on a steal back. Oh, man. Pops the Gatling gun. Doesn't mean a lot with it, but the re-engage. Oh, a minion tanks it. Tanks the really important anchor toss there.
Yeah, but here's Moon on the side.
Yeah,
not rocking the pool party, but he's going to have a party in this top lane in just a second. It is a Shen that has taunt, though. You have to be very careful of that.
Sheep's Ignite is still up.
Though. They have somebody
got no flash. Yeah, it looks like they're not going to try for it. Now, with them all having flash and heal, it looked too risky.
Wow. All right.
No Ignite on Baby, I guess, was the reason they didn't go for it. Steelback also only had 1 Q for mana.
Oh, this is a much easier target. He has no flash.
E into flash W is probably a kill. Or flash, yeah, flash W. Is he going to try? Thing is, this wave?
Nope.
Thing is, you see, we was close to that wall like 10 seconds ago and then slowly walked downwards, realizing that it was a bit scary.
As a Rek'Sai player myself, you sit there waiting for the perfect opportunity, and then you realize the best one you were going to get
was a while
ago.
Yeah.
But it's honestly better to not go for it and not reveal yourself, because then the enemy jungler figures out where he wants to go next.
Well, he just walked through the lane, so that's all said and done.
Exactly. You don't want to do what he did.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. So a lot of information gained just now by C9T. They know that Imagine jungler's heading to the right side of the map. They don't know that he hadn't cleared his top jungle yet, though, so the fact that he was camping up there doesn't mean a whole lot.
Don't eat it.
What?
He's chewing his pocket watch.
That's fine.
No, it's not. It's not edible.
That's what you think. It's made of gold. Have you heard of, like, gold coins? Like that are made of chocolate?
Think about what you just said.
Maybe it's a gold pocket watch made of chocolate.
Oh, he almost has supercharge here. Oh, there we go.
He has supercharge, a lot of burst. ManCloud's going to be in a bad spot, but Moon could maybe trade back. No, he cannot. The burst comes out. Hard and Yasui win the 2-on-1 and the next 2-on-1.
Oh, man. That just because they lost 1-on-1 with Yasui, boom.
Look at the burst around. Yeah. The burst meant a lot there.
It's just such a volatile lane.
Yeah.
Both champions have so many ways to kill each other. It's just who sets up the condition right beforehand. And then when the Hard was there, it just added on top of it because Moon was also there and he died too. So now that's a kill and an assist going over to Yasui. He gets his tier at an okay time and he's on his way to that Rod of Ages a little bit faster than ManCloud's going to be in his full build. And ManCloud looks like he might not even go for the tier of this game because he went for the Catalyst first.
I think he has to go Abyssal. I think Roa Abyssal is going to be his build here just to be a little bit more durable.
Yep.
Also, I don't think Cassio's typically got both those items, by the way. Their typical build only included one. Tier was more common, but you almost never saw Tier Roa. And it was usually Tier into Rylays or Tier into Abyssal. So
yeah, we'll I just figured Seraph now has
there's more reason to get Rod of Ages.
Yeah, and the synergy between Rod of Ages and Seraph's is better.
Of course,
now, too,
of course.
So.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, more reason to add Rod of Ages.
Gotcha.
I still think, yeah.
But I'm just curious on 513 of people's AP builds, because we had this conversation yesterday where I really like it.
Ooh, hold on, Mad Life's the hook. A nice knockback, though, gets Steelback back out of range. The taunt, though, doesn't mean all that much on a Sheep. Silverbolts does land, but not all tanky enough. Okay. Hard's coming up, though. He's on a ward. This should be fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I really like the new AP items because, first off, needless of large rod being cheaper. That all aside, the fact that they're all about 3,000 gold, you pay for different utilities, you pay for 100 or 80 AP, and everybody gets to kind of express themselves as a mid laner. Do I like to slow people? Am I the sieging type of guy? Am I the guy who wants to kill tanks? And when you get competitive, it's now I have a hell of a lot of ways to adjust to the enemy team.
Yeah.
Do they have a lot of tanks? I get to go Leandri's and not feel bad about it, and it's outside of like a huge build path. I don't suffer for it.
Well, that's the thing.
I think that's awesome.
I think it is as well. And the cool thing is, to sort of add to some of the mechanics of it, AP mages only really have 2 multiplier items, or 2 multiplier stats, Magic Pen and Death Cap.
Yep.
You could argue cooldown reduction is one of them, but it's still optional on some champions. Which just means that, yeah, aside from you probably have to end your build with a Void Staff and a Randuin's, or sorry, a Rabadon's, there are 3 item slots you can use for literally anything in that same sort of ballpark. And that's exactly what's happening here. Great block by Baby, even though it's a bad smite by Moon. First Dragon still goes through to Imagine. They got down to bot lane first.
That's actually a strange conversation to have.
Because AD carries like Need Crit and Infinity Edge and Last Whisper and Lifesteal, which stifles your options. You can choose between Bloodthirster and Ruin King. You can choose between Phantom Dancer, Shiv, and sometimes Yomu's. But you have more locked in options, really.
Well, when you're talking about APs and you're saying these are the only things that like really scale, right? Like Luden's has an AP ratio on it.
Yeah.
Leandri's is going to scale with the enemy's HP. So there's like some things that scale conditionally.
I mean, and they do add more damage than the other options.
Yeah, it's like Blade of the Ruined King is better when they have more HP, right?
Oh, both those guys play that so correctly, but Baby is so screwed. But he flashed away.
We wanted more of that. He wanted that hook.
Oh, whoops.
Don't care about your spear.
He stood still for that one.
Hit me! Hit me! And it happened.
Great. He's probably gonna have to recall. He does.
He does.
Yeah. All right. Moby Boots buys some wards. He'll be back in the lane before too long. Man Cloud. So we talked about it, champs, like briefly, right? Is there a counter effect to this Rise? Honestly, I really do like the Cassiopeia into the mid lane Rise. And you know, we got first blood one-on-one because of it, but the great gank by a Hard turned that completely back around, and it's made life difficult for the Cassiopeia player. Top lane matchup is going Solo's way. Chunky Fresh went for that somewhat uncommon Scion pick, and right now it is not winning him the lane. Steelback also behind his matchup against Lod. Trying to sneak Moon into the lane.
I'm trying to see
no word spot that.
It's almost a 2,000 gold lead in favor of Cloud9 Tempest. 1,000 gold in the jungle is the difference between Hard and Moon.
Top lane's got to be
about 400.
300, yeah.
Yeah, 300. And then mid is about 100. And then 80 carries are 300 as well.
Yeah, so it's spread across the lanes with the biggest concentration being the jungle.
But then there's 300 top and 380 carries, so it's still like very meaningful leads across everything.
Of course, yeah, it's enough for a 2. If you had the same builds, it would be a 2-wave earlier recall, which definitely can mean a lot of things. Lets you pressure turrets and dragons.
Hard spends that 1,000 on potions, pink ward, and
Sightstone. Sightstone Nidalee is here. He's ready to win the vision game on this one. See if he can do that. Leopard Nidalee, if we're going to keep pointing out skin choices. C9T continue to go back for their own Krugs here. This is nice. It's a way to get more farm, more experience you wouldn't otherwise be getting. They shouldn't miss too many minions in the wave because of it. Although, Imagine are choosing to freeze the lane as best they can whenever those guys leave. So partial wave lost. Actually, lost almost the entire wave for it. So that was actually a bad choice of going for Krugs. Lost an entire minion wave for Krugs.
As a jungler, that's worth.
What? Solo still pushing around, gonna sit on a 16 minion lead. Definitely meaningful here 12 minutes into the game. Imagine, oh, another fight comes through. Javelin toss lands. Ulti! No, doesn't. Oh, he's already used it, actually. In the battle against Yasui. Close one.
He only hit Yasui with it as the spear was coming in, because as he got hit by the root, he had to use it as defensive action.
Oh, yeah, huh? All right, well, ManCloud getting a little bit behind here. Cassia was nerfed a bit a few patches ago. The mana sustained from her Twin Fang went down quite a bit, as I believe the healing AP ratio did as well, if I have my nerfs remembered properly. Holding on to a 10 CS deficit.
Basically, all of the sustained to her.
Yeah,
both her
sustained both went down. Yeah, Moon looking for the play, but Solo is now Mega Gnar, so good luck making that one happen. He's trying. Chilling Smite. There's the brief knockup. Into the Scion ulti. Oh, Mega Gnar into the wall, but actually means hard misses. But a fully channeled Q comes in. Meanwhile, flash from Yasui. Goodbye.
Chunky Fresh is still going. Moon, whoa, all across the map.
Man, kills back and forth, but Lot is still alive, means he's going to knock down Baby. Kills everywhere. Top lane also went just fine. It's a 4-for-1 across the map.
Where do we even look? Where do we look?
The mini-map.
Yeah.
The bottom right corner with the kill callouts.
Solo kill in the mid lane, 2-for-1 in the bot lane, and then a 1-for-0 in the top lane. All in favor of Cloud9 Tempest.
Solo not quite in range for that one.
It's just that volatile matchup mid where Yasui now can just destroy ManCloud. Got his flash previously, so now you can just flash at him. And Sheep was looking at top lane. They'll cost him his life, but it's actually
they spent so many stuns and steal back.
He had no mana.
Thankfully didn't get condemned to die, but the fact they spent all their CC on a Shen, you cannot do that. You cannot do that in a Vayne lane.
Yeah, it was a panic.
Just don't ult him though. That was a huge, huge misplay in that lane. You can never do that. They should know better.
I am curious though, if the Shen shield saved a life in the top lane.
Was it for top or was it for mid for Yasui?
I think it was top.
Okay. Maybe. We can watch this at another time, but we're gonna see.
See it here.
Yeah, so watch the top lane fight because we missed part of it. The Mega Gnar makes the javelin miss, which is kind of crazy, but
they're going after Solo.
Yeah,
okay.
So Solo gets the shield.
Depending on how much he gets back. Nope.
Yeah, no one's gonna do any more damage. Well, actually,
it dissuaded them a bit, but
yeah. I don't know why he went in for that one. There's no way he gets the kill there, and if he had the E, he could have E'd out. Honestly, a lot of really bad choices happened in a row for Imagine here. So Cloud9 Tempest, 5,000 gold lead at 15 minutes. That is stupid high.
They are in a great spot. Here comes the TP, though.
Yeah, C9T is going to stop Dragon pretty cleanly as well. They'll get their first of the game. Rod of Ages got bought all at once by Yasui. He's now stacking that one up, and they're going to get this Dragon pretty cleanly.
And Solo has that frozen, now like completed up against the frozen heart of Chunky Fresh. And he's just going to trade him down. He lands one auto, he'll just start doing the percent HP magic damage of his Hyper, which the frozen heart's going to have no effect on him.
Oh man, Yasui just can't do anything about this. Tries to answer back. ManCloud has aggro. He's gonna get away though. Great one-on-one. Yasui didn't really see that one coming. Good kill.
It's not the end of us going to this middle lane either.
Nope.
It's gonna be like a fourth time saying it, but this matchup is just so volatile that it just goes back and forth. Whenever you misstep, you're gonna pay for it. Yeah. They both have kill pressure on each other.
Botland getting pushed around. No chance for ManCloud to show up. It's just trying to wave clear, but a lot of damage comes through from all these champions. Looks like it will be the turret kill coming through at the very end.
He wants to fight.
And in comes the Mega Gnar. Good knock at the buy-up at a time, but still the kill comes through. Turret plus the knockdown onto Moon. A 0-3-0 on this Rek'Sai.
Moon pretty much saved his backline there. Steelback did have flash though, and so did Baby, so
they should have just left sooner.
Should have left.
Imagine are not assessing fights well at all. Good of ManCloud to say, by the way, this was the right choice of ManCloud. Stay mid to knock the turret down off the kill. Don't help your team get a turret kill. But, I mean, it's Imagine being in fights you shouldn't be in. And it's Moon's second big misstep in a row.
Chunky's going to get a fight, turret as well.
Yeah,
he'll get a fight with the turret. He'll fight back.
I think he's winning this fight. I feel like he's winning this fight.
It's turret.
I mean, he almost dislocated his shoulder there, but I think he's fine.
He's going for the freeze, too.
He gets it.
Yep.
Okay, so Imagine. I mean, that's got to be some pressure off, though. 2 turret kills picked up means a lot of gold comes back in. Their only deficit is some farm and these 4 kills. That can be overcome.
I'm really worried about Hard and Yasui taking over this game. Like, Vlad, he'll do a good job on this Vayne, but whenever you pick a Nidalee, it's always very contingent on, do I have a really good game? And he's 3-0-1. And he's got a lot of CS over Moon. You see only about 20 CS, but it's actually a lot for junglers.
absolutely. I mean, obviously he has 3 kills and whatnot, but the actual gold disparity is about 2,000, so good luck with that one.
Same turrets, but 2,000 gold difference off of 3 kills.
Farm and 3 kills. 1 assist. Yep. It's basically 1,000 gold from farm and 1,000 gold from champion combat. Roughly is the breakdown. Solo pushing pretty hard. Chunky Fresh did get the turret back from that previous set of fights, but you can see that Solo still controls lane pressure here.
And he pretty much always will is the start.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Gnar's definitely one of the lane bullies of top lane. You expect him to stay pushed up. His engage in teamfights is unreliable. Has to rely on Mega Gnar being up. So it doesn't always work out in his favor, but you can keep the lane pressured.
Honestly, this is one of those matchups that when you play Gnar, you just wish that you would never turn Mega Gnar. You always want to be Mini Gnar just to get hyper over and over again and to harass.
Look at this, though. They bring Moon down to the bottom lane, and Steelback and Co. able just to knock this turret down. No one's even trying to defend it. They will be pressuring mid pretty heavily, and this could mean a turret trade at the very least. Cloud and Tempest are still in position to keep moving forward, and that's going to be late to this party.
Can they flank, though? Where are the wards for Chunky Fresh's TP and engage? ManCloud cannot come in this way.
He's going to go for the turret itself, a very telegraphed one. And it means a 4-minute cooldown of teleport just to make him stop doing it. That is a big 7 spell lost for Team Imagine.
It's the quickest way into the fight, and it stops them the fastest. Solo wants to get in here, though. He's going to transform.
Oh, stops at 99.
Oh, man. But he's not going to be able to find a fight for a little while here. He'd have to force it pretty heavily. Even just uses his hop there.
Keep in mind, like, that's really the only engage tool C9T has. Shen can taunt flash, but is squishy, which makes it fairly risky. Nidalee's poke exists, certainly, but...
Yeah, that's not an engage.
There's not a... there's just... There's not a really lot of, like, ranged threat tools, which means, C9T have to have vision control really to make ingresses around the map. Or just the threat of if you fight us, you lose hardcore, but they're not that far ahead that it really exists that way.
Yeah, and the bulk of the damage from Imagine, though, is mid-range. The Corki will poke, but everything's pretty much mid-range. They have all the engage tools, though, so they get to pick the fight.
Right.
But they're just picking the wrong fights.
That's true.
They're picking them across the map and ending up losing advantages. Oh, Moon.
Good at least. So we are going to see Roa into Riley's for Cassiopeia. So big slows coming out from her. Despite all the crazy combat in mid lane, we're basically tied in gold. ManCloud's within about 200, 300 of Yusui, which at this point is not the worst thing in the world. It exists, but it's not too bad. So we'll see him able to scale up pretty reasonably well.
I will say, though, Ryze's burst in comparison to Cassiopeia's burst
higher.
Is much higher.
Yeah.
Cassiopeia would require more spell presses, and the fact that she has that little spell ceiling, or spell floor, whenever you cast your E on somebody who's already had a poison on them, whereas Ryze has no spell floor.
And just has the animations. Here we go. Hard gonna land a big knock-up onto himself. That sounded weird, but the stun lands! Just barely facing the shuttle. He's not gonna matter. That's a passive, or a support ulti on cooldown. There's exactly those stuns we were talking about. Imagine are able to pick fights. The overextended hard goes down. 30 seconds on Dragon. He will be dead for the Dragon fight.
He's going to try to flank ulti. Here it comes.
Chunky Fresh. He catches Yusui.
Double.
This is massive.
Oh
what the hell? The hook comes in. Yusui's gone. Solo's got to hightail it out of there. Big fight.
That's why Chunky Fresh's best champion is Sion. And that's why you should still be picking it. And I love this pickup for him.
Man, that was absolutely huge. Yusui had flash, didn't see it coming, got absolutely wrecked. Imagine pick up 2 much needed kills. They'll get the second Dragon, and they're back in this.
Getting the second Dragon for themselves is going to be okay. It's not huge, but it's still a big victory. Getting those kills and making it only about a 2.7 thousand gold lead difference is the big takeaway from that.
Cloud stole that. He just stole 30 gold from Hard.
Hold me back, Phreak. Hold me back.
Is this your Zephyr?
Stealing the scuff. Yes, because it's worth more gold for the team.
I know. It's not like Nidalee doesn't use the gold either. Like, if it was like Lee Sin, I'd be like, yeah, sorry, Lee Sin, you're not useful anyway, but...
Babe. Okay. Oh, he canceled 2 autos there. Is he still going to get it?
Yeah, I mean, it lasts forever. He's going to be fine. Okay, so 2.7 thousand gold. At 22 minutes, that's barely anything. C9T still looking for something to do. We're seeing Chunky Fresh go for his second big durability item. Frozen Heart's done. He's going
going to face check this? He's going to face check this.
But he's durable and somehow sidesteps the taunt anyway, but very low health.
Still back, no mana.
But he buys some time. Flashes away, Lod flashes to follow. How soon are the flanks coming in? The big, yeah, see, he's fine with the big shield. TP used by Solo to join the fight, but that didn't mean anything, so teleport down. Chunky Fresh can heal, teleport back to the fight. Steelback's got enough health, but no mana.
ManCloud is here. ManCloud has his Rylai's Crystal Scepter completed as well. So he just creates big 40% slow zones. Or 20% slow zones as on top of whatever it was.
Yeah, W should be 20%, because it applies a dot. Same with the Q.
Yeah, and then his Q...
Is E will be 40%.
Would his Q be initially 40%?
No, because it applies a dot, and the dot itself is what deals damage.
Okay.
So yeah, also, ManCloud's Rylai's is really only better on his E, because the Q should still just be 20% as it roughly was before. I guess it was 15 before, so it's slightly better with the Q. Objectively worse with the W, and then slightly better with the E.
On Cassio?
On Cassio, yeah. As far as specific mechanics.
Oh.
Because E is a single target spell.
Okay, in comparison to how it was before?
Right. Yes. So compared to 5.12, Q slightly better, E... Yeah, okay, anyway. Moving on, too many semantics. Don't want to get too caught up in it. Moon will be taking away a pink ward. 2,500 gold lead, still very, very close here. Imagine if they win, they lock in a playoff spot. If they lose, they could be upset in the final week by a Winter Fox. To lock that away would be a huge boon for these guys.
And they would own the 2-0 over Cloud9 Tempest. Cloud9 Tempest play Coast. So they play a #1 team. If they're having a performance like this against Imagine, who's the 4th place team, well, they have a lot of thinking to do for that next matchup if they do get 2-0 this week.
Yeah. See how this pans out right now.
Playing around Baron for both teams. They're looking for these choke points, and Chunky wants to engage.
I think so this is interesting, because Chunky Fresh can choose to stick around here and try to start a fight and be like, we want to fight behind you. Or he has teleport and can split push bottom lane. And I feel like that's like the much more secure option, because you're guaranteed to grow a gold lead that way.
It's the pressure option. And you look at C9T's comp, they engage on you in very telegraphed ways.
Yeah, they're real obvious.
Your team should not be engaged on while Chunky is split pushing.
Yeah, we've seen Shen's be able to walk up and taunt an AD carry.
Okay, but they had a Sivir at the same time, giving that Shen a huge speed boost.
Was it even with Sivir?
I think it was.
I think it was CLG just not reacting. Maybe it was.
There's no Righteous Glories yet. There will be one on Baby shortly.
That'll definitely help him. Imagine do have good ways of starting fights, and that's always going to be a bit scary. Moon getting closer and closer to lock it here. More team fight power coming through, and meanwhile, Sheep, of course, had to go Aegis himself, so no chance for an early Righteous Glory for C9T, so even worse fight starting for them because of how their champions work out.
Imagine have control of the Baron area, and they have this gigantic wave bottom. Is Sheep going to go kill the wave? What is he doing? Okay.
Sheep could, honestly, sure. You ult into the fight, Sheep should go split push bottom, why not? Get tank stats in your tank. I think it's totally reasonable.
That's why I like Shen support. People don't mind giving me the farm.
Like, yeah. Oh, Hook's gonna miss though. They don't catch hard there. So look, it's a little bit Hook. He's now been Meganar forced. So wait 15 seconds and Meganar goes away. And the team fight gets a whole lot weaker for Cloud9 Tempest. Lod, though, split pushes the mid lane. They successfully got Lod in here. That's a big deal. This turret's going to lose a ton of health. But Imagine are rushing this. Meganar's going to end right now. Solo's not going to get the engage he was looking for. Chunky Fresh doesn't take any damage from Baron, but they can't find the anchors. They can't find the Righteous Glory engages. Righteous Glory's not been completed yet. Down to half HP, 5,000 health on Baron. They're losing more and more health. Booth now to 2/3. Ulti pops onto the mini-Nar. Solo, Chunky Fresh loses his ultimate. Oh, but he stops Sheep mid-taunt. That is a very dead Shen who did not get much gold. Hard gets hooked up, gets rooted. Cassio ulted Solo as well. Half Meganar, but Solo is the 3rd kill. They do trade one back. Lod gets one. Chunky Fresh losing a lot of health, but lands the stun anyway. A slow onto Yasui. Low HP members. It's still going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Imagine.
Oh man, just this damage dealer still being left up. It's still a very dangerous fight, and Lod and Yusui both want this. They're both going on a mission.
And they're looking for this Scion who was trying to get his home guard recall off. TP, of course, still up. Oh, they're trying to take down Baron riskily.
Dragon.
Or Dragon, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. That always happens.
This is risky, though. Chunky Fresh.
Steelback's watching.
He has a ward right there he can TP to. Blue Trinket used, not a chance. It does, however, reverse the teleport situations. Solo's TP is back up now. This seems risky to contend at all for Yusui.
Moon just has to smite this away, and it should be fine.
Oh, it reset? Yeah.
Reset completely there.
Yeah, they switched aggro too many times. Still clean. Okay.
Moon, despite not having a great performance early, has been able to make it come back to a 1 KDA now.
Yeah. So imagine. Right. Yeah, definitely pretty nice. So imagine, instead of using the TP advantage to split push bottom and use that, they stayed with the team, did a Baron bait to take the fight, and they won the battle. Now TPs are reversed. Solo can split push, and Chunky Fresh will have a hard time reacting to this one. Cloud and Tempest can use this advantage to do something meaningful. They're keeping him with the team right now. Solo far from Meganar. But they're keeping ward control here, making Baron a death trap. Mid lane, though, got pressured first by Imagine, but Steelback is out of mana. And he's not going to be able to make sure, not really able to do much with this.
Always seems out of mana whenever we see him.
Steelback hasn't backed in forever. He has 2,400 gold. That's why he feels like he has mana forever. He has a Ruin King and a pickaxe like waiting for him here. Buy the item! Steelback, please!
You have to back when they can't see you, or else they take it.
Oh, but Solo's going to be Meganar here. This is a big risk. A lot of CC used on the tank. There's the Meganar into the team. A big stun lands. Yusui is blowing up some people. Moon's trying to run, but still goes down. A 1-for-0. Steelback cannot fight here. He had no items and no mana. That's a 1-for-0, and C9T able to go for Baron off this.
You just look at what Solo has left in the tank. That's Phospho Bomb. That's Blade of the Ruin King auto attacks. They could have killed Solo there.
Absolutely the case, but Steelback had to help make sure his team could take Dragon. Didn't recall afterwards, even though he had time immediately after Dragon, and that means a kill, and Baron goes to Cloud9 Tempest.
And this is the fight that happened before, where Chunky just went around. Solo got knocked up, but then he stops it in order to just, interrupt the Shen, and Sheep gets picked off. The hook onto Hard. Hard has no mana.
Oh, that hook
as
was
well.
Huge.
There's no way, like, why are people taking these fights or sticking around these fights when they have no mana? They're blowing everything in their tank, and then they're still sticking around.
Yeah.
It's hard, though, because you have to find a recall timing where you're safe and they won't take Baron during it. And it really just felt like Hard never had a chance to do that, and then Steelback imagined he never had a chance to do that, but they took Dragon, everybody respawned, and then they went back to Baron. Like, he had so much time to buy Pickaxe and complete his Blade of the Ruin King.
Yep. Well, he's got it now, but Team Imagine fighting a 4,000 gold deficit after they spent all this time and effort clawing their way back in. C9T have the lead, and they have a split pusher in this vein from Lod. He has consistently been the carry of Cloud9 Tempest. He never has a bad game. Even when they lost, he had the most kills and least deaths on the team yesterday. He's got a Baron buff and he's 3-0 on Vayne. This guy's going to make things happen.
He's going to be able to shred through these tanks. Even those fights that they lost, it was him not being there. He's never been cleaned up after a fight just yet, and he's been making the right choices. They're pressured at Baron, go try mid-turret. He's just showing up a little late because his team is getting engaged on it. It feels like the rest of C9T don't realize the power of this Scion pick.
Yeah.
And this Nautilus, and how far away you really have to be from them.
Yeah.
ManCloud's been having a good game. He's only missed out on 1 kill. And just to put it in perspective, there were kills that happened all across the map, and the one that he missed out on was the one that happened bottom on Sheep, the 2-on-2.
Yeah. That was even the wrong fight to be a part of, so. Not ManCloud's fault.
He was too busy getting soloed by Yusui mid at the time.
That's fair. ManCloud's sitting on 30 base magic resist. This scares me a little bit. I hope this Blasting Wand turns into Abyssal Scepter. I just feel like he needs the item. The MR Shred also helps because Steelback's magic heavy, and honestly, there's a lot of magic damage coming through with Cinderhulk and everything. This would be a good pickup. Solo Loses the Banshee's Veil. Of course, this Scion is invincible, but Baron buffed up. Top lane's under fire. Lot is here as well. They can clear the minions, but they can't clear them fast enough. This turret's going down. C9T pushed the gold lead farther, almost 6,000 up.
Getting these turrets while having the Baron buff is essential, but they're about to lose the Baron buff.
Solo. Mega Gnar pop, but doesn't take enough damage to be really pushed away.
Baron buff expired. No longer have that Ultra Siege on the mid turret and the top turret.
Cloud has already crested the 250 AP point. So he's got the CDR, but not the crazy AP bonus.
A 250 stacks?
Yeah, he's at 390-ish. So the AP gets much, much better at 500, but in the meantime, he's got the CDR and the small AP bonus. He's at around, I have the number, 450 ability power. He just bought a blue elixir. And he's getting the components of either Death Cap or Void Staff. Those are the only things you could buy with those components, I believe. Also, it could be a really, really awkward Leandri's Torment, but I doubt that highly.
Second Rylai's.
No, because Rylai's is Needle's Large Rod now.
That's true. That's
yep.
Right. The 1250 item. Yeah, I guess it would be a Leandri's in a weird way where you don't go haunting that.
Not that it would be smart.
It's most likely a Void Staff, because they have a Locket.
Yeah, I think Void Staff is more important than Death Cap right here.
Abyssal.
Yeah, I still wish you went Abyssal, but I'm going to stop dwelling on that point right now because we have a fight brewing. 5,000 gold lead, stunning a Solo who's nearly Mega Gnar.
Trying to flank on
Yusui tries to go in off the speed, trying to get the root on a Chunky Fresh. Wow, they're chunking him out! And the tank goes down right off the bat. He kept buying armor items. And Chunky Fresh can only fight back against these tanks. Decent damage on the Sheep, but the way he goes, stopped Spectre's Cowl in a team with Nidalee and Rise.
Looks like he's going Randuin's Omen too.
Yeah, he stopped at Cowl, went Randuin's. I'm not sure I agree, but maybe it's the right choice. It's sometimes hard to tell. But it means more pressure now for Cloud and Tempest. What a great pickoff by them. Mid lane goes down. It was worked on earlier by Laud. They got it for sure this time. Dragon's up. Should be their second cleanly. Chunky Fresh respawns in 12 with Teleport and Home Guards. Frozen Heart and Randuin's.
Yeah.
Before finishing a real MR item, that does seem like too much for me. 250 armor, 120 MR. I think that's actually a mistake. Here's the TP, though. He wants in with Home Guards. Moon's on the flank. Solo does have the ulti still. Chunky Fresh is in there, lands the stun, but guess what? He's Mega Gnar, so good luck with this one. Yusui goes in for the damage. Passive's on. Sheep gets a lot of damage chunked out of him. There's a hook on in. Cass, you're going to go for the kill. They're going to knock him down. He's going to pop the ulti just to keep Laud alive a little bit more. But now the aftermath of the fight, Laud's going to be going down to the Scion Express. The pain train takes him out. The bottom lane is dead. It's going to give some time for Imagine to push on in. No Baron up, but turrets are sure here.
They were not able to deal with Cloud. Big minion wave right here, and if Hard goes to clear it, he's just going to get half. Killed. They have to get him out of there.
He got half, though, but it's not going to be enough to stop this turret from going down. The whole team rotates. Solo clears what he can, but they shouldn't be able to stop Steelback. And in fact, they can turn on a Solo. They will. The hook on in. He's not going to be Mega Gnar. Overextension. Solo loses his life and buys a bit of time, but the inhibitor turret will still go down. 10 seconds on Laud's respawn means the inhibitor itself, and Imagine yet again finds some way to claw back in and walk out.
The first inhibitor turret and first inhibitor of the game, they're going to take as much of the jungle as they can on their way out here. That red buff is up.
Yeah, they've got
Steelback wants it.
These guys should be actually doing this together. There's no objectives that that C9T could take back
There's
here.
30 seconds on the Baron. They want to be able to back as fast as possible
and get the wards
there.
It just risks Steelback being overextended. He has no mana and is recalling on a ward. They're lucky C9T had to hold top lane.
Yeah.
There's a world where Steelback gets killed for that, and that's a very large risk.
It's not this world, though.
Yep.
So he makes it out alive. You see, almost completed on that MR item there for Chunky Fresh. Spirit Visage in the makings.
All right, the game is now ward control over Baron, and bottom inhibitor, the most important inhibitor, is down.
Yep.
Solo has TP, can stay there forever, and actually pretty much stay at full Mega Gnar bar for a really easy amount of time. He can like at will fill his bar up, so maybe something that can be played around, but bot lane gonna be pushed in thanks to the super minions. That's gonna be a very big threat. Solo at some point will have to respond to that. And it has to be him, he's got teleport.
Yeah, that's what they're just doing, is they're playing this game, but look at this, the mid lane. They're gonna go for this here.
This is risky because you can just rush down Baron, and I would be okay trading one inhib for Baron here.
ManCloud doesn't have blue buffs, so the more he throws out his Qs,
Good point. Only half a mana bar. Solo's still part of this fight. All Imagine has to do is buy time and then stop Solo's recall. The minion wave is double stacked in the bottom lane right now.
He's getting ready to do some serious damage to that base.
They're a minute away from killing
Log
Nexus
goes back to mid. Is this where they engage?
This has to be the time you try for it. Lod's gonna knock down an inhibitor turret by himself. C9T putting a lot of weight in their vein, so Baron gets started. Huge risk though, they're gonna expose their backline to Rise. They pull Lod back in though. The threat of Baron actually going down makes him rejoin the team. Solo about to be Mega Gnar. Here comes the big ulti in, a two-man stun to the front line.
Chunky in the back.
Yasui's ulti's on, here comes the damage output. Chunky Fresh gets killed off first, but ManCloud trades in for hard. Another kill comes through for Steelback, 3 kills picked up. Yasui can't do enough damage. That's everybody going down, and the bot lane's already open. Here they go.
Chunky Fresh making that fight. C9T, all 5 members down, and Imagine they're going to get a free turret off this. They're going to try to end the game right here.
This is going to be the 2-0. Baby actually dies to the tier 2 turret, but it's going to be enough. 25 seconds, a triple stacked super minion wave. There is no chance at all. Imagine said, if you fight us and lose, the game ends. C9T fought and lost. That's the 2-0. Imaginer headed to the Challenger Series playoffs with a 2-0 sweep over Cloud9 Tempest.
And they get to sleep well. They don't even have to care about their games against Winter Fox next week and whether or not they win or lose. They are in the playoffs.
It does matter for seeding because right now they have the same number of wins as Cloud9 Tempest. Both those teams at 4-4, but in to the playoffs. We already know our final 4 teams.
They are 2-0 over them.
Yeah. So as long as if the game's mismatched, it's still
exactly.
above.
But C9T have a much harder opponent in Coast, and they just lost to Imagine.
Sure.
C9T, they have a lot of thinking to do here.
Well, we came into the Challenger Series with expectations of who were the strongest teams. Renegades looked like clear favorites. C9T looked like they were going to be a very strong team as well. People were sleeping on Coast. People were sleeping on Imagine, but Coast showed they went 1-1 with Renegades. Imagine showed they could 2-0 Cloud9 Tempest. So I think shaking up the power rankings at the very least of the Challenger Series, all 4 playoff teams that look very good. Keep in mind, we have not seen C9T yet play Coast, and we have not seen C9T play Renegades with their full starting lineup. This was a 2-0, but maybe we see them improve in the later weeks.
And this is the first week we've seen Imagine with Steelback.
And they 2-0'd Cloud9 Tempest. Definitely a very strong performance. Imagine kind of going through the easier side of their schedule now. They've got Winter Fox at the very end, a team that is 1-7 coming into that one. But joining us to talk about that victory is Team Imagine mid laner ManCloud. ManCloud, congratulations on that win, man. 2-0 Cloud9 Tempest. Did you expect that?
I can say I expected it. I definitely can say that I wanted it, though.
So talk to me about this. Like, you guys have had a number of roster changes throughout time. I mean, the starting lineup had practically none of these players at the very first week for Imagine. How has shaping the new roster been for you?
We haven't had much time in the house, but we have been practicing like weeks before the roster change was actually made. So there is some synergy there already.
So what's the biggest difference you've noticed with bringing Steelback onto the team? Because this is the first week we've seen you guys with him.
Steelback is one of the most consistent players I've actually ever played with, and he makes sure that we don't slip up on like the basic things such as bouncing waves back or like mismanaging side lanes. I think it's actually really important.
So how does sort of the teaching process go? Because he came from like the best team in Western League of Legends with Fnatic. Like, this guy went to MSI, nearly took down SK Telecom. Is he like helping to coach you through scrims, or is it just in-game shot calling? Like, what's the sort of education process like?
I wouldn't say it's really an education process. It's more like just keeping us in line, make sure we don't do anything stupid. Let's just like go ham and suicide in a team fight or something. Just make sure like, nope, stop that. You need to go here and do this.
All right. So it's just a calming voice. You guys already have like your good instincts.
Calming voice, yeah.
All right. So speaking about education process, I want you to educate us here for a second, because that mid lane matchup, you picked the Cassiopeia into what you knew was a Rise. Talk to me a little bit about that, because my opinion on it is it's an extremely volatile lane where both you guys just have chances to kill each other all the times. What is your take on that lane?
I actually think Cassio destroys Rise, and they had a really good 2v2 that actually messed up the dynamic of that. Like, we actually both died, and not even like a 1-for-2. We just both straight up died. So coming back from that was kind of difficult, but I think Cassio has a huge advantage in that lane.
All right, so final question for you here. You own the tiebreaker over Cloud9 Tempest. You play Winter Fox at the very end. You guys could end something like 6-4. Heading into the playoffs, man, first place would be a trip back into the LCS automatically. Your 7th straight split in the LCS, or 8th or something like that one. Tell me.
Yeah, I played a couple games in each one.
Yeah, I think you played every single split so far. So your 7th trip to the LCS. Tell me about sort of prepping for playoffs and trying to beat up these teams you've had a hard time against before.
If we just keep going how we're going right now, I think this is huge momentum for our team. And yeah, if we just keep improving at this rate, I think we're good to go.
All right, well, if you can keep improving, then you can get revenge against Coast and Renegades in the playoffs. ManCloud, thank you very much for your time. Good luck with the rest of the split. All right, well, that's going to do it, guys. It was, of course, a wonderful set of games. We had 2 split series, one with Renegades Coast, one with Vortex Winter Fox, but a convincing 2-0 here for Imagine over Cloud9 Tempest. ManCloud says the momentum's good, and they're on a good path for a revenge playoff run. That'll be a fun one to watch for, but we've only got 1 week left of the regular season. But the playoff teams are already set. So, Renegades, Team Coast, Cloud9 Tempest, Team Imagine, they are all heading to the playoffs. We still have to figure out what seeding is going to be with 2 games left to play for all these teams.
And currently tied in 5th and missing the summer playoffs are Team Vortex and Winter Fox, who will now compete for qualifier seeding for the Spring Challenger split in 2016.
Yes, we'll see if they can get themselves in a good spot for that one. But the standings for the end of the regular split will be decided next week at the same time when Imagine faces off with Winter Fox. Renegades battle Vortex, and we close out the night with Coast against Cloud9 Tempest. That one's going to be a whole bunch of fun to watch.
Are we closing out the night, or are we going to have bonus games?
There's a good chance of that one, actually.
That's very true. But speaking of bonus games, the EU LCS kicks off tomorrow with Week 8 with Giants going up against H2K. Then it's Copenhagen Wolves versus Elements, and Challenger veterans, the Unicorns of Love, taking on SK Gaming. It all starts at 6 p.m. Central European Summer Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
So that's going to do it for us here tonight from the North American Challenger Series this week. But we'd like to say thanks very much to our guests, Crumbs, Billy Boss, and ManCloud. And on behalf of myself, Zirene, and the entire live broadcast group, thanks for watching. Good night, and GG.
Bye-bye.
Really?
Bye-bye.
You're so lame. Good night, everyone.
Yeah. No.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, supercharged, a lot of burst. ManCloud's going to be in a bad spot, but Moon could maybe trade back. No, he cannot. Casio ulted Solo as well. Half Meganar, but Solo is the 3rd kill. They do trade one back. Lod gets one. Chunky Fresh losing a lot of health. Going to pop the ulti just to keep Lod alive a little bit more. But now the aftermath of the fight. Lod's going to be going down to the Scion Express, the pain train. Another kill comes through for Steelback. 3 kills picked up. You see, we can't do enough damage. That's everybody going down, and the bot lane's already open.